So, what does emotional regulation mean for us millennials? And is it the same for Gen Z or totally different? These days, everything seems to revolve around Gen Z's curiosity, right? So, today we are letting their question take the lead and seeing how our expert unpacks it all. Let's find out how two generations make sense of the same emotional roller coaster. Maybe it is not as different as we think. So, hello everyone, myself Suman Khanna, founder of Lakshya Sati, welcome you all to our podcast where we have two experts, one asking questions and other giving explanations. So, before we begin, let me meet our two experts. Of course, first expert is our mental health expert, Ms. Lopa Mudra Ghosh Gupta. Hello, ma'am. Welcome to our platform.
Good morning. Good morning, Suman.
So, can we have a brief about you?
Yes, so I'm Lopa Mudra. I'm a counseling psychologist. I'm working with mostly with the married couple. Like I'm a mental health therapist for marriage and relationship, and also I'm into adolescent stress management for their academic and whatever the problems they go through, their stress management. I'm also the founder of a company, You Don't Mind.
Oh, that's great. Hello and welcome once again. So let's meet our second expert, an expert student who is going to put questions on behalf of all Gen Zs. Hi Kushika, welcome to our platform.
Hello everyone, my name is Kushika and I am a fourth year psychology student at Delhi University. And since I am very interested in the field of mental health, I am here to discuss about emotion regulation today with our expert, and I hope it will answer a lot of my questions.
Great Kushika, so we are here to learn from your questions and from the answers that Lopa gives us. So before we begin, let me put first question to both of you. So Lopa, my question to you, what brings you to this platform?
The most important question, Suman, why am I here? Right? So, reason being here is that, the questions that this generation is having, Gen Z having, or even we are having as millennials, are most of the time never answered. Okay, never answered because millennial has grown up in a way where we have just followed a format. And we as parents, now when we are bringing up our kids, we need to answer them. And also the millennial, also these Gen Zs have questions which we respect. सो एज पेरेंट्स मोस्ट ऑफ टाइम क्या होता है कि हमारे पास आंसर्स नहीं होते हैं देने के लिए क्योंकि हमारा जो फॉर्मेटिंग हुआ है वो बहुत डिफरेंट वे में हुआ है पर जेनजी के पास जब क्वेश्चंस है तो आई एज अ साइकोलॉजिस्ट इफ आई हैव द आंसर्स आई फील इट्स माई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कि लेट मी आंसर इट एंड लेट मी ब्रिंग देम टू अ प्लेस जहां उनको actual perspective of life pata chale और इससे not only the Gen Zs even their parents gets an idea how to deal with this kind of questions क्योंकि answers हमारे पास होता है because that हमें पता नहीं है how to answer we are not able to. So good that Gen Z is here. And secondly, I really appreciate Lakshya Sharati for bringing in a platform जहाँ पे हम ये कर सकते हैं. I as a psychologist, you as the mentor around, we are going to do something जो कि हमारे newer generation and our existing generation को थोड़ा तो कुछ बेहतर कर सके, if not more, little bit of contribution to the society.
Thank you so much, Lopa. This was a wonderful answer. So, Kushika, my question to you is what brings you to this platform?
I am here because I have seen a lot of people of my age, my generation, struggling with regulating their emotions, understanding their emotions, and coping up with them in a healthy manner. And I think being at this podcast will give me answers to a lot of questions which may help people of our generation.
So, thank you, Kushika, and thank you, Lopa. So, we have interesting answers for this podcast. Let's begin. So, here it goes. Yes, Kushika. Your first question, please.
My first question is, what does emotion regulation actually means in simple terms? And why is it important for Gen Zs?
Okay, Kushika, good question. So, emotional regulation means that you will be driving your emotion. It's not that the emotions will be driving you. Simply explained, the steering should be in your hand to drive your emotions. It doesn't mean that you always need to be calm. It doesn't mean that there will be no reaction from your side, but you really need to know when to react, how to react. What's the necessity of the reaction? The complete steering should be in your hand and you should drive your emotions. Emotions should not drive you. That's how you can regulate your emotions. And why is it important? It is very, very important for your mental health. It's very important for navigating your life challenges. Because there are so many challenges coming in your life every now and then. If you're not able to regulate your emotions, then how will you reach? Because emotions will come. Like आज कुछ करना था, suddenly you felt कि I am triggered. And अगर triggered हो तो suddenly you will feel that anger or something, and then obviously that will become a barrier for progressing further, right? So that's the need of emotional regulation, and you should be the driver. Your emotions should be under your control.
Well said, Lupa.
Gen Z is very vocal about mental health, as we all know. Do you think this openness helps us regulate emotions better, or does it sometimes backfire?
So what do you think, Kushika? As you are also from Gen Z, you see your friends around, you see yourself around, yourself also. So how do you think, how these emotions, being open about emotion is helping you?
I personally feel that it is a good thing that we are open about mental health, open about emotional regulation, and all of these things.
Coming
but
out of the
there should
stigma.
be a balance.
Yeah, coming out of the stigma.
There should be a
Yes.
balance, because sometimes we get so indulged in our own emotions that we actually forget about everyone else and what's happening around us. And I have seen this happening with a lot of people, that I think there need to be a balance in this thing.
Okay.
And it
Yes.
does sometimes backfire.
Okay. So good. You also have an observation, and it's correct. So let me give you a little more understanding about it. So, as you said, Gen Z is open about emotional, their mental health and everything. That's a very good part. It's good part to say, yes, I need break, or there is some problem about mental health. Mental health is also as crucial as physical health. And right now, Gen Z is quite focused and they are into it. But the problem is that what I feel, if this can be refined a bit, like if you are having anxiety before exam, and that has been tagged as I get anxiety attacks or I have anxiety disorder, is not correct. Refine it a bit. I get anxiety before exams. When you start giving big words to your emotions, like, I'm going to depression, it can be a season of sadness. That's normal with anybody. But depression, okay, I am into depression. Okay, for last week, I'm into depression. And what happens is subconscious mind starts registering depression. Because continuously you're saying, I'm into depression. So your subconscious mind will start registering the word depression. Okay, so refine yourself and say, okay, I'm into a sad, low mood or sad period of time. It will anyway go. It will try to, do few things that will keep you happy. But the problem here is when Gen Z addresses these, they address it in a way that it is something like, depression, PTSD, anxiety, I don't know what all. Be open, but be refined. Try to understand the actual emotion. People can be sad, but not always anxiety attack or anxiety depression. Having some kind of traumas is fine, but that is not PTSD. So all these things need to be regulated. And then the subconscious mind will have an understanding that these are normal. This is not something that we are facing very difficult situation. These are normal. So that is the understanding Gen Z should have. Otherwise, being open about mental health, about, this is a way too good that Gen Z is doing these days, which the earlier generation has struggled. So, yes.
Definitely. My third question is that sleep, diet, exercise are often mentioned. How much do they actually influence our ability to handle emotions?
Okay. So, Suman, do you have any inputs in this?
You please take over.
Okay. So, diet, exercise, and sleep. These are the most vital thing of life. You just need to have them proper. I know at young age we always feel waking up late is good, or waking up early, staying awake till late are all good things. This is normal in life, but actually this impacts the life a lot if your sleep, exercise, and diet is not correct. Clean eating, regularly exercising, at least moving your body, and sleeping on time is very important for a healthy mindset. If you wake up in the morning, just think you're waking up in the morning, anytime, take it under 9 to 10, like little late, that's okay. Get up in the morning and have a packet of chips immediately after waking up. If you have a packet of chips, the way it's going to trigger your mood will be very different than if you have a proper a bowl of fruits or some kind of healthy food, because that kind of thing, that the junk that you are giving to your body, that impacts our brain in a major way. So it's very important that you keep your diet, your sleep, and exercising in a normal control that should be maintained and regulated for a healthy lifestyle. At young age, we don't understand that much. As Gen Zs, you all are young right now, you won't understand it much, the difference. But if you start practicing it in a way that no, we should go to bed on time, we should wake up on time, and then food should be. I'm not saying that eating out of junk is not good, but at least if we can avoid as much as possible, will be quite beneficial for us, and that impacts mental health a lot. I have also written an article, I think, few months back regarding how gut is related to our mind. That's there in my LinkedIn page. How gut is related to our mind. So yes, its impact.
Thank you, Lopa. You have explained beautifully to what Kushika asked and what you replied. I would like to share me being a millennial.
Mm-hmm.
We don't start a day with junk food like chips. But I have
Mm-hmm.
seen my friends and my family starting a day with caffeine with no extra breakfast added to it. And
Hmm.
somewhere I have read like taking caffeine, empty stomach, is not good for health.
Not good. It creates acidity. Yeah.
And still we are learning. So, Gen Zs, you are doing a great job. So,
So
Kushi,
they have replaced it with
Like,
matcha.
I do start my day with chips sometimes.
okay.
As I said, Gen Z do.
Yeah, like chips or directly chocolate or something
Wow.
first thing in the morning.
After being answered, I think you might love to change your habit a bit.
Yeah, I'll try to change it definitely.
Great. So, Kushika, please, can we have you another question, please?
So, why does emotion often come out as anger or irritation instead of sadness or fear? Because I have seen it in a lot of teenagers as well, mostly in teenagers who struggle with identifying their emotions at that age because they are getting exposed to a lot of complex emotions initially in their teenage, and they don't know how to handle it. So often their emotions turn out to be like irritating and very like angry. They're very irritated and angry. So whatever that is.
Yes, this is one thing I think these teenagers suffer a lot. They are not able to express their emotions in a correct way. They are, instead of communicating with their parents or friends or teachers, mostly what they show is irritation or anger. So the first thing we need to understand, whenever it's teenagers or we or millennials or whoever, whenever we are in a zone of fear or anxiety, our body goes in a protective mode. Our brain gives us an understanding that we need to protect our vulnerability, right? So, anger is the most powerful emotion, right? When our brain is said, okay, now this body needs protection. the body is in a vulnerable zone, immediately the most powerful emotion comes out. Okay, that's how our body functions. We will get the understanding. It is not that we are doing it, it is because our body is made like that, it goes into a protection mode immediately. Okay, but yes, we can certainly regulate this. Whenever we are feeling anger, we need to find out different coping skills. We should understand the correct emotion for the anger, because anger is the first thing that we'll feel. But the reason is not always being angry, the reason is something else. We need to dig there, we need to see, we need to understand what is that. If you're able to communicate with anyone, like, we are having, like, as teenagers, we are having conflicts with our parents. It's a very normal and common thing, having conflicts with parents, because we feel parents are not able to understand us. Parents have their viewpoint. Obviously, parents have more experience. Parents have seen the world in a different way. And also, one thing that works, parents always have a fear for their child. Okay, if they don't go in a correct way, what will happen? So many times what happens, the parents starts pushing a little bit more than required, because they have a fear. It's the concern. It's not something that they are trying to do back to the child, but that's impacting the mental health of the child. So if without anger, the immediate reaction will be irritation. Mama, Papa, छोड़ दो, मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा. But instead of that, अगर हम जाके बात करते हैं कि ममा, I understand your concerns, but please let me take over this. I will see what best can be done. Communicate कर दिया जाए ना वहाँ पे, parents भी काम हो जाएंगे. इसी तरह से अगर टीचर्स के साथ भी हम कम्युनिकेट कर सके, तो टीचर्स भी बातों को समझेंगे. हालांकि schools these days are much more refined than the schools we had, and teachers understand a lot, but still अगर वो communication हो सके, it will be better. So that's why anger आता है. The first reaction is anger, because body goes into that protective mode. Brain बोलता है, brain को पता चलता है कि अच्छा अभी irritation है, vulnerability है, मुझे अपना protection mode में जाना पड़ेगा. बट हमें उसको रेगुलेट करना है थ्रू आवर अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि हम इसको कैसे रेगुलेट करें. अगर बहुत गुस्सा है, थोड़ा वॉक पे निकल जाओ, कुछ कर लो, थोड़ा मूवी देख लो, टेक अ ब्रेक, कम बैक एंड टॉक. That will help. क्योंकि वो एंगर जो होते रहता है ना, लाइक आपने कुछ बोला एंड देन ऑब्वियसली पेरेंट्स और टीचर्स और सराउंडिंग में भी लोगों को बुरा ही लगेगा उनको, बिकॉज दे आर थिंकिंग हम तो अच्छे के लिए कर रहे हैं. या कोई भी जो भी सिचुएशन है, वहां पे यू नीड टू कंट्रोल दैट थिंक. एंगर हमेशा हमारा थिंकिंग पावर को खत्म कर देता है, तो उसको जितना हम सप्रेस करेंगे, हम उतना बेटर सोच पाएंगे. ओके
Okay, that was a great answer. Thank you for that. My next question is, how does constant exposure to online news, reels, and trends affect the way Gen Zs regulate their emotions?
Yes, Kushika, you can answer this first. How do you think is impacting the generation? Because I know you are exposed to this.
Yeah, it has a negative impact, in my opinion.
How do you feel it? How do you feel can you give me some examples where how you feel the negative impact or negative effect?
Yeah, I mean, it might be a little controversial, but what I have seen that there are a lot of trends or a lot of reels about, how, like, the women, they just throw a lot of tantrums, that women get angry really easily, and they throw a lot of tantrums, and they expect that their partner will come and beg them for beg them to stay or something like that. And there are a lot of reels, and they think that is a thing, and I somewhat feel that it's not cute. It is toxic in a way, and it has set up an expectation in front of the girls and the young adults or the emerging adults who are stepping into the age where they will find the love of their life or something like that. And it has set up that very negative expectation that a girl can say whatever she wants, and a girl can do whatever she wants in a relationship, and the man should be okay with it. Even though it's toxic, it's considered as cute. but it's actually toxic. It's that you are unable to communicate. That's why you are giving them silent treatment, or you are unable to regulate your emotions. That's why you're pushing them away, or like there are a lot of things which are in trend, which are considered cute, but they are not cute. They're just toxic ability to regulate your emotions, which they have romanticized in social media.
Yes,
That's
correct, Kushika. Yes, yes, I can understand. I totally get it what you are saying right now is that the way it has been portrayed in the reels that girls, the about romance, about anything, the way it is portrayed in the reels is actually never naturally happening. Is never naturally happening. And because of this generation who is focused in this reel, they actually feel that they are learning something from the reel. There is a crowd who feels it's not very important, but majority of the crowd is following the trend, what is there, what is happening there. Certainly, they are getting an absolute wrong idea about life. Absolute wrong idea. Whatever is said, in reels and social media, we always get to see the better thing of the life. Like even if you place an apple and click the picture, possibly the other side of the apple is rotten, will only show the red side of the apple. Okay, which is nice and clear. We'll take our Snapchat, we'll make that more red, like just pluck from Kashmir, some tree of, okay, and then placed and clicked. But the thing is that that's not actually social. That's not actually the life. Social media is showing us a very different life, which is not there. At times, it's good to go get some, if you want to check something out, it's okay. At times, you want to relax. But still, again, I would say relaxing through this way of watching reel is not correct. That is not giving any kind of detoxification to your brain at all. So if you need to detox yourself, come out of all the devices. That's very important. And social media or reels and these are creating negative impact on Gen Z or every generation in that way.
Correct.
So what we should do is we should know, as this is the world now, we cannot say it will not be there. We should know how much we should get into that, how much we should involve ourselves with this social media. We should have an understanding that social media is always something where something is shown that the person wants to show. People post pictures of their vacation. People are not there. That same person is not posting picture of the days when it's their low, when they are having some fight in their family, when the kids are not performing well. Do we find those pictures in social media? No, we never find, right? So that's why this whole concept needs to be filtered a lot. Yes, as the generation is going through this, it's trending, we all are into it. We can't say that you have to completely take out of yourself from there, but as much as possible, keep away from it. And if possible, also practice digital detox. It is way too important for our mental health. Select 1 or 2 days when you can be away from your phone, like your academics are sorted and you can be away from your phone. So, yes, plan a day or two that today for few hours I'll not be around my any kind of device. Look at the world, read book, do paintings, do whatever possible, go out with friends. But yeah, going out with friends doesn't mean again selfie. Okay, go out with friends, talk your heart out, try to understand the world. That will give a better and bigger perspective to you, to any of the Gen Zs. So digital detox is must, and filtering yourself from how much exposure you should give to these reels is also important.
Okay. Thank you for that answer. So my next question is, a lot of Gen Zs turn to memes, humor, or even dark jokes to cope. And is that an effective form of emotion regulation?
This question, I'm going to answer it in a very short way. I know you will be able to understand it. Dark jokes, humors, and all. Yes, very good. At times, it's good. At times, whenever, the feeling, immediate feeling you're getting, you can just go to these memes, dark jokes, and all. You can put a sticker on it, right? But just tell me one thing: putting a funny sticker on a broken glass, how many, like for how long is going to help?
I think it can work for a while. Like you can put like a concealer to it on it. That there's nothing wrong.
Yes,
But
so that's what,
obviously,
as you said. Yeah, please go ahead.
But I think obviously there is something wrong and it needs to be fixed if you want to live healthy life.
Correct.
And if
You
you
are
want
correct.
to-
Absolutely correct here. So that is the thing. This sounds like putting a funny, sticker on a broken glass. It may look good for a few hours, few moments, as concealer or whatever you put, but after a period of time, it will again start leaking. So for the time being, those jokes and memes and all will work, but eventually you have to work on understanding your emotion and taking it in the correct path. It was never going to be a long-term solution.
Here,
But I also feel that like humor or meme, they help us accept a situation where like they help us deal with this sometimes, when because usually when you are in a stage of crisis or something like that, you are not able to accept the situation at what it is, but humor does help with that.
Yes, that is what I said. For the time being, it will help. Okay, so for the time being, it will help, but it is not the way to regulate your emotion. For the time being, when you are highly triggered for some reason, you can take help of the humors and memes to calm yourself down, to understand yourself a bit, or just to keep yourself away from the situation. Okay, but eventually you have to go to the situation, you have to find a path to navigate through that situation. Continuously relying on these memes and these jokes are not going to be a lifetime solution.
Yeah, indeed.
here I have a question to what Kushika just asked you about the memes and dark jokes and all. I think this is one of the reasons there is a communication barrier between parents and children, because we haven't seen this. Me being a millennial, I haven't seen all this. I don't. I find it literally hard to understand it. So understand, but I do understand the impact of it on a long-term basis. So when we try to stop our child, or we try to limit their time to connect with all this thing, they get cranky, and the communication goes to another level where it becomes like an argument, more of an argument. So how do you explain them what we are doing, like what our parents has done? They have just kept it away from television, the only technology that we had in our childhood, and we are trying to keep them from lot of things like phones, laptops, iPads and everything. And again, we are not doing it for our mental peace, we are doing it for them only. How can you explain them?
So yes, Suman, the thing over here is this generation, as they're quite much exposed to this kind of devices and all this, they are into it right now. So for certain age, I will say, if it's a small child like below 10, obviously we need to just tell them this is the time period for your phone. After that, you are not getting it. Do whatever you want. Right? 10 above, they start questioning you.
Yes.
They are not going to be, just saying कि अभी हो गया, अभी नहीं कर सकते हो, no, वो नहीं चलेगा. उनको अपना प्रॉपर आंसर चाहिए कि भाई क्यों नहीं करना है, इससे क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हो रही है. तो एज पेरेंट्स अगर हम थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करें ना उन्हें कि क्यों आप नहीं कर सकते हो, इससे क्या प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, उस टाइम को जो वो दे रहे हैं फोन को हम इक्वली एंटरटेनिंग उनको कहीं पे एंगेज कर सके. So they'll certainly keep themselves away from that. हमें थोड़ा सा उनका डे और लाइफ को ऐसा प्लान करना पड़ेगा that they get less time for the device. क्योंकि एक टाइम पे आप उन्हें नहीं समझा सकते हो कि they are neither उतना matured कि वो समझ जाए, ना ही वो छोटे हैं कि उनको कुछ भी बोल दो वो मान जाएंगे.
Right.
ओके, सो वहां पे हमें उनका रूटीन ऐसे फिक्स करना है ना कि उनको डिवाइस में कम टाइम मिले, और जो उनको मिलता है बूस्ट डिवाइस से, अगर हम उनको वो कहीं और प्रोवाइड करा सके, राइट, इक्वली एंटरटेनिंग एंड दे फील गुड अबाउट इट, anything, a play day, taking them out or going for a trekking, or even all these things are good, like exposing themselves to this kind of things, trekking and camping and all, जहाँ पे उनको अलग चीजें सीखने भी मिले और डिवाइस से वो दूर भी रहे. एंड वन मोर थिंग, पेरेंट्स को भी वो करना पड़ेगा. दे कांट ऑलवेज एक्सपेक्ट कि सिर्फ बच्चे करें और हम तो पूरे दिन लैपटॉप में बैठे रहें. नहीं चल सकता है,
Right. So true.
क्योंकि बच्चे ना एग्जैक्टली वही सीखते हैं जो वो देखते हैं. हम कितना भी उनको वर्बली कुछ भी समझा दें, पर वो जो देखेंगे उसको जिस तरह से वो सीखेंगे ना, तो वो चीज उनका कभी भी वर्बल एक्सप्लेनेशन से नहीं होता है. एंड देन आफ्टर द एज ऑफ 15-16 कम्युनिकेशन गेट्स इजियर. तब आप नॉर्मली बच्चों को समझा सकते हैं, वो कम्युनिकेट कर लेते हैं. बट हाँ, वन मोर थिंग विद जेन जी, आप जब चाहो तब कम्युनिकेट नहीं कर सकते हो. यू हैव टू ऑल्सो टेक their permission. Like whenever I talk to my kids or even to the clients, I need to first take a permission कि देखो आज ऐसा है, you are here. Even with my clients, though they know कि वो आए हैं for their stress management and everything, पर मुझे बोलना पड़ता है कि अगर if you are not in correct state of mind and अगर आपको लगता है कि आज अगर आपसे कुछ भी convey करेंगे तो you will not be able to take it, then let's cancel the session for today. It's not कि हम आ गए तो हमें सुनना ही है. So this is very important with Gen Z कि भाई आप पहले पूछ लो, Are you okay? आप सुन सकते हो, आप ले सकते हो चीजें, बिकॉज आपको आज अब्सॉर्ब करना है. अगर अब्सॉर्ब कर सकते हो तो ठीक है. और वो भी देखते रहना है एज काउंसलर्स कि उनका आई मूवमेंट, उनका फिजिटिनेस कैसा है. जब तक वो ध्यान से सुन रहे हैं, हमें तब तक ही बोलना है. जैसे हम देखें कि उनका डिस्ट्रैक्शन शुरू हो गया है, इट्स बेटर टू रैप अप. क्योंकि डिस्ट्रैक्शन के बाद जब हम बोलेंगे ना, देयर माइंड इज नॉट गोइंग टू टेक इट. ओके, और वहां पे इरिटेशन शुरू हो जाता है. सो जस्ट स्टॉप देयर. ठीक है, यहाँ तक बोल दिए, अगली बार बोलेंगे. सो दैट गिव्स देम अ कंफर्ट कि नो वन इज पुशिंग देम. दे आर ओनली बिन सेट जब तक वो ले पाए. उसके बाद वो उनको पुश फील होने लग जाता है, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट यूज्ड टू ऑफ दिस काइंड ऑफ अ कल्चर. जो हम मिलेनियल्स को पुश काफी नॉर्मल लगता था, हमें लगता था वही तरीका है जीने का, राइट. बट दिस जेंजीज को वो नॉर्मल नहीं लगता है.
Correct.
सो अगर इस तरह से हम रेगुलेट करेंगे, वी कैन कन्वे टू दैट.
Thank you, Loka, for the beautiful answer. Kushika.
How can we regulate emotions better in friendship and relationship without shutting people out?
Yes. So यहाँ पे ना there will be two ways of dealing with it. पहले तो whenever there is an emotional turmoil in any friendship or relationship, सबसे ज्यादा important है take break. ब्रेक 1 हफ्ते का हो, 2 दिन का हो, 5 दिन का हो. जितना जरूरी फील होता है खुद के दिमाग को काम डाउन करने के लिए, उतना ब्रेक लेना जरूरी है. क्योंकि जब हम लोग ऑलरेडी इमोशनल टर्मोइल में हैं, उस वक्त का अगेन कोई भी रिएक्शन सही नहीं होता है. एंड एज डिस्कस्ड अर्लियर कि तब जो रिएक्शन आता है वो एंगर ही होता है. ओके, तो एंगर में तो हम कुछ डिसीजन ले ही नहीं पाएंगे और करेक्ट चीजें कर भी नहीं पाएंगे. तो मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट होता है ब्रेक लेना. सामने वाले के साथ कोई भी बात नहीं करना. उस इंसान को आप बता दो, यू कैन जस्ट टेल टू दैट पर्सन दैट आई नीड फ्यू डेज फॉर माई सेल्फ. I will get back on this. I assure I'll get back on this. Please give me few days. Communication is important over there. उसका मतलब ये नहीं होता है कि taking break मतलब बिना बोले चले जाओ. No, that is again going to trigger the situation more. Just talk to that person and say, this is the situation. I'm not feeling correct at this moment. There are few things going in my mind. If you can please allow me to take 5 days break from this. 5 days, you can understand yourself and then get back to the person in a better way. जब आप 5 days के बाद get back करोगे, there will be 2 things that will happen. First, your brain will be much calm, your mind will be much calm to understand the correct perspective. Second, वो 5 days में आपका जो वो सिचुएशन था ना, एंगर, जिसमें आपको लग रहा था आपके साथ कुछ गलत हो रहा है या यू नीड टू रियली टॉक ऑन दिस, वहां पे यू विल स्टार्ट ऑल्सो अंडरस्टैंडिंग द अदर पर्सन्स पर्सपेक्टिव. कि you need to put yourself in the other person's shoe to understand कि भाई उसने ऐसा क्यों किया. ओके सो अगर हम समझ सकते हैं दोनों को, देन ऑब्वियसली अपने आप को और सामने वाले को, देन ऑब्वियसली जो सोल्यूशन आएगा वो बेटर आएगा. सो दिस इज द वन वे यू कैन regulate and navigate through that. Next way is, अगर आप confirmed हो after many tries, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हमें जिंदगी में ट्राई करते रहना है. आफ्टर मेनी ट्राइज ऑफ फ्रेंडशिप एंड रिलेशनशिप, अगर आपको लगता है ये बंदे के साथ या इस बंदे के साथ इट इज नॉट गोइंग करेक्ट इन माइंड, ओके नॉट गोइंग करेक्ट, कितना भी ट्राई कर लूं इट इज नॉट गोइंग करेक्ट, कुछ दिन तो ठीक चलता है, उसके बाद अगेन यू नो थिंग्स स्टार्ट्स गोइंग बैक, उसके बाद अगेन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स एंड इरिटेशन दिस स्टार्ट्स. तो वहां पे यू हैव टू टेक अ डिसीजन टू स्टेप आउट. क्योंकि टॉक्सिक रिलेशनशिप यू नो जो हमें हमारे जनरेशन को काफी ज्यादा बोला गया था, यू नो मिलेनियल्स, कि हर रिलेशनशिप में चाहे कुछ भी हो आगे बढ़ते ही जाना है. नो दैट इज एक्चुअली डैमेजिंग फॉर आवर मेंटल हेल्थ, और उस तरह से आगे बढ़ के हम कहीं पहुंच नहीं पाते. सो द फर्स्ट स्टेप इज ऑलवेज कि ट्राई टू फिक्स इट, ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, ट्राई टू बी एम्पैथेटिक अबाउट द अदर पर्सन कि उसने ऐसा क्यों किया. Okay, but when after working for quite many years and months and still it's not working, step out. Respect yourself. You don't even have to go and ask the person ki, you know, you don't even have to give any excuse to the person, explanation. बोल सकते हो, yes, we have tried and it's not working. So अगर कोई बहुत एक इंसान बहुत ज्यादा आपको mentally disturb करता है, trigger करता है, then the best solution, take yourself out from that situation and leave it like that. वो जहां पे था वहीं पे छोड़ दो, कंफ्यूजन की भी जरूरत नहीं. 5-6 साल के बाद या फिर यू नो इन अ जर्नी ऑफ लाइफ वापस कभी मिले तो थिंग्स विल बी बेटर, पर उस वक्त अगर उसको पुल किए इट्स गोइंग टू बी डिजास्टर. सो दीज आर द टू अप्रोचेस फॉर हैंडलिंग दिस सिचुएशन. और से ऑन दिस सुमन.
All right.
I totally agree with you. We have heard this in our childhood, since our childhood, कि रबर को ज़्यादा स्ट्रेच करो तो वो टूट जाता है. So we can't stretch
Right.
unwanted relationship for a long time.
Correct. That's true. Yes, Kashika.
I was saying that, as you mentioned, that if the relationship is not working well, then you should just walk out. So then, like, what about the approaches? Like, can they not try therapy or something? Like,
हाँ ऑब्वियसली आप सी जब भी कोई रिलेशनशिप से बाहर जाना है इट्स नेवर इजी फॉर बोथ द पर्सन. ओके क्योंकि हम दोस्ती में रिलेशनशिप में ये सोच के तो नहीं आते हैं कि हमें बाहर जाना है, हम यही सोच के आते हैं कि हम हमेशा रहेंगे. और सर्टेनली उस इंसान के साथ कुछ ऐसे मोमेंट्स हुए होते हैं जिसके लिए हम सोचते हैं कि हम इसके साथ रहेंगे, है ना. कुछ तो अच्छे मोमेंट्स आए होंगे ना, कुछ तो अच्छा फील उसने करवाया ही होगा ना, अदरवाइज हम क्यों सोचेंगे टू बी विद दैट पर्सन. इवन इन फ्रेंडशिप आई एम टॉकिंग, ओके नॉट ओनली अबाउट रिलेशनशिप. कुछ फ्रेंड्स के साथ वाइब करें, यू नो पार्टिंग गुड, पार्टिंग व्हेन यू आर पार्टिंग विद समबडी, कुछ फ्रेंड्स के साथ बहुत अच्छा लगता है, पर आफ्टर सर्टेन पीरियड हमें लगता है कि नहीं यार दिस पर्सन आई एम नॉट एबल टू टेक एनी मोर. ओके सो उसका अप्रोच ही ऐसा, अगर रिलेशनशिप है तो थेरेपीज पे आप जा सकते हो, आप थेरेपीज देखो कि हाउ इट इज. एंड ऑल्सो वन थिंग, ये जो है ना कि टेकिंग योरसेल्फ आउट फ्रॉम दैट, टेकिंग आउट इज नेवर गोइंग टू बी an easy job, neither for you nor for that person. So to take out yourself also you would need therapies to understand and value yourself. ये taking out इसीलिए है क्योंकि हर दिन का किच it is never possible to, as Suman just explained, कि रबर को ज्यादा खींचोगे तो टूट जाएगा. तो उससे पहले जब तक रबर में इलास्टिसिटी है तब तक ही उसको वैसे छोड़ना चाहिए. तो थेरेपीज लेके कुछ भी ऑल दिस थिंग्स आर वेरी गुड एंड इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर लाइफ, पर उसके बाद भी अगर लगे कि ये ज्यादा स्ट्रेच हो रहा है और इससे ज्यादा इसको स्ट्रेच नहीं करना चाहिए, वहां पे उसे छोड़ देना चाहिए.
definitely. Also, I have seen that a lot of people, they get triggered by, being left unseen. So why does small rejections like being left unseen feel so big to us emotionally?
If you can elaborate your question a little bit, left unseen where?
Like on text, when you're talking to someone and they leave you unseen, or they just don't reply back to you on time.
Okay,
And
yes.
you feel like you've been rejected and you feel very emotionally at a very
Yes,
bad
I understood.
place
Yes.
after that. So why does that happen?
So Kushika, this must have happened with you also few times. हम सबके साथ होता है ये. आप बता सकते हो कि ये वाला लेफ्ट हैंड सीन जो होता है, ये आप बता सकते हो आपको कैसा फील होता है when this happens?
So with me personally, I don't feel this emotionally drained when I'm talking to my sister or to my friends. But with some people, I do get this feeling that, oh, am I not important enough for them to answer me back? Or did I say something wrong? Or do they not want me? And did I make them upset by something? I don't know. I just like maybe I seek validation, or maybe I seek that I want to be important in their life. Yeah, it's similar to validation only.
Yes, yes, Kushika. So I think you have answered it yourself only. Why do I feel that somebody is ignoring us? As you said, your friends, you are not bothered. Your parents, you are not bothered. Your sister, you are not bothered. हम कहाँ बॉदर करते हैं जहाँ पे हमें किसी की जिंदगी में इम्पोर्टेंस चाहिए और हमें ऐसा फील हो रहा है कि हमें नहीं मिल रहा है, हमें ऐसा फील हो रहा है that person is giving importance to somebody else. It's our own insecurity. It's not the problem of the other person. Okay, first let's understand that. यहाँ पे भी there are two perspectives. One, if somebody is actually ignoring you after a few days of conversation, you will be able to understand कि this person वो office colleague भी हो सकता है, वो college mate भी हो सकता है, friend भी हो सकता है, कोई भी even a relative. If that person is actually ignoring you, answers will be short. If you write long sentences, the answer will be who, हाँ, this, like that. तो आपको समझ में आ जाता है कि that person is not interested in communication. Okay, leave that, छोड़ दो वहाँ पे. पर अगर ऐसा है कि somebody is interested in communication, but for a few days the person is not able to answer to you in a correct way, the way the person was answering. So वहाँ पे हमारा पहला reaction क्या होता है? How is possible he or she is ignoring me? Why? Have I done something wrong? Does he not need me anymore in his life or in her life? नहीं, that is not the thing. हमें थोड़ा पर्सपेक्टिव बदल के भी पूछना चाहिए. We should change our perspective and try to understand. In psychology we do that CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, जहाँ पर पर्सपेक्टिव चेंज करते हैं. जाके पूछो आप कि भाई अब 4-5 दिन से जवाब नहीं आ रहा है ढंग से, is everything correct in your life? हो सकता है आपको खुद पता चले कि that person himself or herself is not keeping in a correct state of mind. That's why the person is not able to answer to, देख के भी वो छोड़ रहा है. या हो सकता है ऑफिस या कॉलेज में इतना बिजी हो कि the person is not able to give you time. पॉजिटिव चीजें भी तो हो सकता है ना. हमारा ये जो सीन लेफ्ट हैंड सीन वाला प्रॉब्लम है, ये सिर्फ हमारा खुद का इनसिक्योरिटी है और कुछ नहीं है. हम खुद अंदर से इनसिक्योर्ड है कि सामने वाला हमें रिजेक्ट कर सकता है. क्यों इनसिक्योर्ड है? अगर हम खुद को लेके सिक्योर्ड है कि आई हैव अ वैल्यू एंड आई क्रिएट अ वैल्यू इन हिज और हर लाइफ और मेरा एक वैल्यू है, तो फिर उसने अगर देख के नहीं भी रिप्लाई किया, सो कितना इम्पैक्ट करेगा हमें? वी कैन वेट. बट इमीडिएटली हमारा खुद का इनसिक्योरिटी हमें ट्रिगर करता है. एज यू सेड, हमें वैलिडेशन चाहिए, हमें दूसरों से वैलिडेशन नहीं चाहिए. अगर हम खुद को वैलिडेट कर रहे हैं ना, तो हमें दूसरों से वैलिडेशन नहीं चाहिए. और अगर हम उसको थोड़ा अलग पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचे कि हो सकता है दैट पर्सन इज एक्चुअली बिजी, लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड प्रॉब्लम क्या है. एक बार तो क्लैरिफिकेशन बनता है ना. तो पहले आप उसका पर्सपेक्टिव समझो. अगर पर्सपेक्टिव समझने के बाद भी लगे कि नहीं, ठीक है, हो सकता है he or she is actually busy, let me give them some time. और दूसरों का लेफ्ट हैंड सीन पे ना अपना वैलिडेशन कभी नहीं रखना चाहिए. We are much more valuable than that blue tick.
I think it actually kind of manifests that they're gonna leave.
Yes, it does. As you keep thinking negative, वो manifest होते रहेगा.
And
क्योंकि आप immediately negative thought में चले जाते हैं.
And I actually have personally felt that, but when you are in that situation, when you're like engulfed with your insecurities, you actually tend to only focus on your emotions. That like because your emotions are too strong at that time, so you don't consider what the person in front of you is going through or it might be going through. You just completely focus on what you're feeling, what it's making you feel. This is also one thing.
सो यस कुशिका, हम उसी पे बात कर रहे हैं ना, इमोशनल रेगुलेशन, राइट? तो हमें हमारे इमोशंस को रेगुलेट करना पड़ेगा. वी हैव अ रेगुलेटर इन आवर हैंड. हमें पता करना चाहिए कि कब स्पीड 5 करना है, कब 1 करना है. हर वक्त 5 में रहेंगे ना तो जा जाके ठोकर ही खाते रहेंगे. ओके, क्योंकि पॉसिबल नहीं है. 5 में रहेंगे, वी आर ऑलवेज इन अ हाइपर स्पीड. ओके, तो वो हाइपर स्पीड में हमें इधर उधर कुछ दिखेगा नहीं, समझ में भी नहीं आएगा. तो हमें कभी कभी उसको रेगुलेट करके 1 पे लाना है, कभी कभी 0 पे भी लाना है. रोक दो अपने इमोशंस को फॉर सम टाइम. देखो तो आगे दुनिया में चल क्या रहा है. क्योंकि जब तक हम हमारे इमोशंस को रेगुलेट नहीं करेंगे, पॉसिबल ही नहीं है कि हम सामने वाले को समझ पाए.
डेफिनेटली.
ओके, एंड दैट विल कीप हर्टिंग अस. मतलब हम इतनी ही स्पीड में रहेंगे तो ऑब्वियसली विल गो एंड बैंग ऑन समथिंग. सो इमोशनल बैंगिंग, दैट व्हाट आई मीन, विल बैंग ऑन समथिंग. सो उसके बाद क्या होगा? इट विल हर्ट अस ओनली. तो रुक जाओ, ठहर जाओ, अंडरस्टैंड योरसेल्फ. दैट्स व्हाट वी आर टॉकिंग. इमोशनली रेगुलेट करना. तो आपका वैल्यू जो है, आपका खुद का वैल्यू खुद के नजर में इतना कम तो नहीं होना चाहिए कि वो एक ब्यूटी का आपके वैल्यू का असर कर दे. है ना? सामने वाला आपको वैल्यू नहीं कर रहा, दैट इज फाइन. आप खुद को वैल्यू कहाँ कर रहे हो? अगर खुद को वैल्यू करोगे तो ये व्हाट्सएप का ब्लू टिक तो सच में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं करना चाहिए, राइट? सो यस, दैट्स हाउ यू नीड टू सी टू दैट.
Yeah, indeed. That was actually really good because it made me feel like something in my chest, like, oh, wow, I needed to hear that, something like that.
Thank you.
That was really good. Thank you for that. Okay, so my next question is, like, if someone feels that they have failed in regulating emotions, how can they restart without guilt?
So, failing in regulating emotion is a normal thing. We are human. और as human हमें होते रहता है. ठीक है, हम रोबोट तो है नहीं कि हमें एक बटन पे दबा के छोड़ दिया और हम हर वक्त उसी जोन पे घूम रहे हैं, उसी मोड में घूम रहे हैं. ऐसा नहीं है. कितना भी कोशिश करो, लैश आउट हो जाता है. कितना भी कोशिश करो, ओवरवेल्म हो जाता है. नेचुरल है. अगर ऐसा हो गया तो calm down, calm yourself down and then restart. There's always a restart in our life. We don't need a restart button. We don't need to reboot. हम हो जाते हैं restart. Okay, so let's restart. जो situation हुआ वो situation को analyze कर सकते हैं. We can analyze the situation and try to understand what must have happened that I lashed out. What must have happened that I went into a zone of so much overwhelming situation. What must have happened? We can reconsider. We can try to understand it better कि क्या हुआ होगा. और वो समझ के जो भी हुआ है, okay, उसको थोड़ा understand करके we should work ahead. It is absolutely okay कि अगर fail हो रहे हैं to navigate or to control our emotions. It's absolutely okay. It's normal for any and every human. We are human. We are made with emotions, and sometimes high and low of emotion is absolutely okay. I'll just give you an example. What we call a dysfunctional family. Dysfunctional family is not जहाँ पे हम जोर से बात नहीं करते हैं. Dysfunctional family is that family जहाँ पे हम बात करने से ही डरते हैं. Okay, हम हमेशा ऊपर ऊपर से बात कर रहे हैं. We are never getting into a deeper conversation because हमें ऐसा लगता है deeper conversation से सामने वाला समझेगा नहीं. So when a child is growing in a family जहाँ पे parents are just never talking to each other, okay, they're just talking in a very soft and smooth way and going away. क्योंकि उनका conversation उनको पता है इससे ज्यादा करेंगे तो nobody is going to understand us. That is a dysfunctional family. Rather than a family जहाँ पे कभी तो चिल्लाना हो जाता है, कभी तो गुस्सा आ जाता है, वहाँ पे ना kids are never getting impacted because they can see the natural behavior. They can see love, they can see anger, they can see understanding, they can see okay, parents को आज argument हुआ, that is normal. उसके बाद parents are happy also. So showing emotions is never wrong, but उसको फिर अंडरस्टैंड करके हमें थोड़ा उसको बेटर करने का कोशिश हमेशा करना चाहिए कि नहीं, ऑलवेज लैशिंग आउट इज नॉट गुड, बट कभी नहीं करना, देन वी विल बिकम रोबोट्स. एंड जो नेचुरल फैमिली होता है, नेचुरल रिश्ता होता है, भले वो रिलेशनशिप हो, फ्रेंडशिप हो, फैमिली हो, जहाँ पे हम हमारा नेचुरल बिहेवियर से खुद को रोकना पड़ रहा है ना, देन इट इज नॉट करेक्ट. सो नेचुरल बिहेवियर को फ्लो में जाने दो, बट कीप रेगुलेटिंग इट कि हाँ ज्यादा ना हो. दैट इज हाउ इट शुड गो.
Thank you for that answer. Okay, then like I have my last question, which
Okay.
is what's one misconception about emotional regulation you wish everyone, like every young person, knows?
Yes. So you know the misconception about emotional regulation कि हमें हमेशा काम रहना चाहिए, हमें कभी रिएक्ट नहीं करना चाहिए. वो इमोशनल रेगुलेशन नहीं है. अगर हम हमेशा काम है, जस्ट बिफोर इसके पहले का आंसर क्वेश्चन में मैंने जो एक्सप्लेन किया, हम रोबोट्स नहीं है, हम हमेशा एक ही मूड में नहीं रह सकते हैं. तो ये मिसकॉन्सेप्शन है, और बहुत कोई इस मिसकॉन्सेप्शन में है. एक्चुअली देयर इज ह्यूज नंबर ऑफ पीपल जिनको लगता है किसी भी तरह का रिएक्शन करना ही गलत है. वो नहीं है. इट्स नॉट दैट. ओके, इट्स नॉट दैट यू ऑलवेज कैन बी काम. इट्स लाइक यू नीड टू रेगुलेट इट. अगर कोई इमोशनल ट्रिगर आ रहा है तो भी हमारा कोपिंग स्किल क्या होगा, हम इसको कैसे रेगुलेट करें, व्हाट शुड बी डन ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर टाइम और ऑन दोज पर्टिकुलर जोन टू गिव अस अ बेटर मेंटल हेल्थ दैट वी कैन रेगुलेट आवर इमोशन एंड नेविगेट टू अ बेटर पॉइंट. इट्स नॉट दैट वी विल नेवर रिएक्ट. इट्स नॉट कि वी ऑलवेज बी काम. We are human, it is never possible. तो ये एक major misconception है. When people talk about emotional regulation, they feel that we are not supposed to react. We are supposed to react. We just need to change the way of reacting. Instead of lashing out at the person, instead of talking at that moment itself, I want conclusion now, give me. उसके बदले take some time, take some pause, understand, then go back, talk to the person, whatever has happened, or try to understand not only the person, even your own situation. कभी हमारे खुद के सिचुएशन में we're so triggered, हमें लगता है कि क्या हो गया. रुक जाओ, ठहर जाओ, लेट थोड़ा सा काम डाउन करो, ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड एक्चुअली क्या हुआ होगा, ये सिचुएशन इरप्ट हुआ क्यों. Okay, so that is emotional regulation. It's not always being calm. ये एक major misconception है. Whenever we talk, you know, इस लड़के को गुस्सा बहुत आता है, ये लड़के को गुस्सा बहुत, ये बहुत रिएक्टिव है. रिएक्टिव होना एक नेचुरल वे है. जरूरी नहीं है कि हर इंसान हमेशा काम होगा, पर रिएक्शन को अगर हम प्रॉपर वे में बोले ना, दैट मेक्स अ डिफरेंस. अगर हम उस रिएक्शन में बोलेंगे ना, तो सामने वाले को समझ में भी कुछ नहीं आने वाला है, कुछ नहीं आएगा. Okay, so yes, good question asked कि हमेशा काम रहना is not emotional regulation. Just you need to know how to manage and balance your emotion. That is emotional regulation.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer. It was really good.
Thank you, Kushika. Thank you for the wonderful questions. आपके questions से not only other Gen Z's answered, I'm sure बाकी generations ने भी काफ़ी कुछ सीखा है, because we never knew we might have such questions inside us. So thank you for bringing in all the questions. And to you, Lopa, first of all, I would like to thank you for a few things which you actually did. For a few questions you actually asked her to answer, which gave her an opportunity to explore. And the way you explained other questions, that was really wonderful. And the line you said, emotional banging, it's going to hurt us only, that was truly beautiful. So thank you once again for all the answers. And before wrapping up, I would like you to conclude few lines on emotional regulations.
Emotional regulations, few lines.
Kind of a message that you would like to give, not only for Gen Z's but for all generations.
Yes, for all generation, it goes the same way. कि understand your emotion and communicate it well. Emotion needs to be communicated not only with the other person, with us also. Many times we are into the overthinking zone, right? वहाँ पे हमें किसी और को communicate नहीं करना है, हमें खुद को communicate करना है कि हम क्यों हैं इस overthinking zone में. Okay, so that's how we can regulate our emotion. Emotional regulation means to keep a hold in our emotions and understand it in a better and deeper way, that we can bring some solution to the emotion that we are right now in, or we can navigate through the emotion in a better way. So that is what it is: communication with self communication and communication with the person we are having the emotional conflict or the thing with.
Well said. So I heard this. Someone said this beautifully. Conversational theory is the best theory. That is like a solution to maximum problems on this earth. So
Yes, true.
that
And you know what? We communicate. Whenever we talk about communication, we always think communicate with the other person.
yes,
But most of the time, we need to communicate with us.
ourselves, and that too as a third
First
person.
ourselves. First ourselves. Whenever we're in a problem, we need to ask, Lopa, ये situation में आज ऐसा है, क्यों है? Let's ask ourselves. कुछ तो आंसर आएगा ना अंदर से.
Yes.
तो उसको हमें पहले देखना है. So when this word communication is said, कि हमेशा हम सोचते हैं कि किसी और के साथ बात करना, खुद के साथ बात करना इक्वली इम्पोर्टेंट है और ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. हम जितना खुद के साथ बात करेंगे, हम उतना खुद को समझेंगे,
Right.
और जितना खुद को समझेंगे, हम उतना अपने इमोशंस को समझेंगे, एंड जितना अपने इमोशंस को समझेंगे, हमें दुनिया के इमोशंस उससे ज्यादा समझ में आएगा.
So we can solve the circle by being in that vicious circle.
Yes, correct.
So this was a wonderful discussion. Thank you, Kushika. Thank you, Lopa, once again.
Thank you,
For
Poonam.
coming and-
Thank you, Suman. Thank you, Kushika. And it was a great experience.